Hello, my dears. I am happy to be back to present another lesson for you, my dears. I love you a lot, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find it interesting, and this is very, very, very informative, and it fits with the current living condition, because we have been through a lot because of the coronavirus, and now in this unit we talk all about diseases and viruses and how to prevent them, and the ways we can my apologies, the ways we can use vaccines or other medicines to prevent or cure the diseases or illnesses, okay, which people may get. My dears, in Unit 8, Public Health, okay, we have the unit question, how can we prevent diseases? Okay, what are the ways we can use, or we can use them as a solution for diseases? So we have to explain some explain and answer some questions. The first one says, when was the last time you got sick or you were sick? How did you feel, and how did you get sick? Okay, let me start from myself. Okay, the last time I got sick, of course I want the answers of these on a separate piece of paper, please. On the book, if you have enough space, it's okay, but a separate piece of paper is highly advisable for answers of these questions. My dears, the last time I got sick, it was last year. It was some years ago, back in college, and I had a severe flu, and I thought I was dying because I couldn't breathe. I had constant running nose, and eyes, my eyes were all red, and they were wet, water coming out. If anyone saw me back then, they would immediately think that I was crying, because my face was all wet because of my eyes, and it made breathing difficult, and I had whole body ache. I had pain in every inch of my body. Okay, fortunately after 2 weeks I got better. So I hope you got the answer of that, and I want you to think of an illness, to think of a disease you got, okay, and how did you get that, and how did you feel? I felt terrible. I felt that I couldn't breathe. Number 2, what are some things that you do to prevent getting sick? For example, let me give you some ideas. Washing your hands, using masks when you go out, okay, because there may be another person, maybe another person is sick, okay, so you don't get the sickness. And you can get vaccination, get yearly vaccination, and you can when you get sick, you can stay home and not to infect other people, okay, and you can exercise, eat well, and my apologies, sleep well, okay, and these are all can be used as techniques for solving this problem, for preventing or maybe curing a disease, okay, because when you stay home, you are sick. Imagine you are sick and you are staying at home. You take constant you constantly take medicine, and you follow your doctor's instructions. Then after a while you get better. Question 3, I want you to look at this picture. Okay, what do you see in this picture? Let me give you my opinion. So what I see is 2 people. Okay, one of them is older than the other one. Okay, this is a young lady, and this is a what appears to be an adult doctor, and he is a grown man, maybe between 40 to 50, and he is using an equipment, a medicinal equipment, and he is pumping out small drops of blood, and I think, in my opinion, he is about to test this blood, and he's about to test these viruses and other microbes, or whatever. Okay, this is my opinion. So look at this video, look at this picture, okay, and write down your opinion. That's what I want. Okay, my dears, we go to page 171. We have what here, my dears? We have the audio, okay, the Q Classroom. So what I want you to do is to listen to the audio, and listen to what our friends have to say about the unit question. Okay, Yuna, Felix, Marcus, and Sophie. and they each talk about some, ways, okay, that we should, be aware of to prevent disease. Okay, for example, exercising, washing your hand, wearing, mask, and vaccination, and staying home and eating well or sleeping well. Okay, and then when you come to this table, okay, this is all about yourself. Always, sometimes, rarely, or never. This is about you. Once you write the, the ways to prevent the disease, okay, then I want you to, tick the boxes. How often do you get, do you do exercise, for example? You can say, always. How often do you wash your hands? For example, you could say, rarely. How often do you, get vaccination? You can say, never. Maybe you don't like vaccination. Okay, and this is, just for your information. Disease can spread anywhere in 24 hours. So this is an extra information, inside this green, box. It can spread, in any direction. Okay, in a place, and anywhere in almost, precisely 24 hours. And for question 2, do you agree with Sophie and Felix that people should wear face masks or stay home when they get sick? Why or why not? I want the answer of this question as well. Okay? Do you agree with those two? When people get sick, they should stay at home. Why should they do this? This is the question. Okay, this is the question asking you. Right, yes, when you turn the page, you go to page 172. Let me walk you through these exercises. I'm not saying all of you, but most of you may have problem with these diseases. Okay, you may not have heard of these diseases. Okay, some of them maybe, but others may not. You see, diabetes. You may not know diabetes. Diabetes is sugar problem. Your body can't process sugar. Malaria. Malaria is a disease, okay, that you get from mosquitoes. My apologies. Mosquitoes, tiny, small, tiny bugs. Influenza, that is the flu, okay. You can get the flu, and in cold, temperatures, in cold weathers, seasons, you get that. You are, more susceptible to get the flu. For skin cancer, a lot of exposure to the sun when you are, always, out under the sun. Okay, so you may run the risk of getting the, skin cancer. Asthma. Asthma is the difficulty in breathing, as you can see in this picture. The lady has difficulty in breathing. That's why they use a very special, equipment. This, small, tiny device. It helps them to breathe. Okay, it helps them to breathe. Tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is a lung disease. Okay, your lungs. Okay, so you use your lungs to breathe. To breathe in, to breathe out. Okay, so this is a disease for your lungs. My dears, so what you do is you write the names of these diseases and the correct picture. Okay, I did all of these for you. You may ask why. Because I thought that you may have a lot of problem with these, because you may not have heard of some of these diseases. That's why I did all of these. Now you know the name and the definition or the information you need to understand these diseases. In activity E, you do what, my dears? You write down the name of the disease, in these blanks, and it describes the disease. Look at the first one. Skin cancer. Okay, skin exposure is the leading cause of this disease. This disease causes cells to grow quickly, so this is skin cancer. Sun exposure, meaning it means being under the sun for a lot of time. The sun, hitting you for a lot of time, so it can run the risk of getting the skin cancer. For number 2, malaria. For malaria, this is a serious disease that you get from mosquito bites. So a mosquito, which has the disease, it bites you and you get the disease. Number 3 is tuberculosis, or as it's known as TB. Okay, this disease affects your lungs and it spreads from person to person very easily. So this is very infectious. It is contagious. Okay, so when you have the disease, when you come in contact with another person, that person is also likely to get the disease. And I will leave the other ones for you, my dears. Just by looking at the pictures, you can fill out these, blanks without having, any problem. But yes, when we come to page 173, we come to learn some new words which we are going to need, okay, when we read the first text. Okay, so the words are these. Okay, approximately, cover, develop, epidemic, extremely, infect, related to, severe, and virus. So your job is to read these sentences carefully. Okay, and then you match the word with the definition, and they also come with the a word category, whether it's an adjective or noun or verb or adverb. Okay, so I did cover. Number 2, you should cover your baby with extra blankets in the winter so he doesn't get cold. Cover. What does cover mean? It's a verb. To put something on or in front of something else to protect it. So right now I am covering my hand. I am covering my left hand. Okay, this is covering. Okay, and it's also a verb. See, I did infect for you. Okay, infect is number 6. If you have a cold and you sneeze on other people, okay, you can infect them. That means what? To give a disease to someone. So infect is a verb, and it means to give someone a disease. We also have infection. I want you to know. We also have infection, and also infectious is the adjective. When a disease is infectious, that means it can be transmitted. It can be transmitted to another person easily. Another person can get that. Approximately, is number 1. Yesterday, approximately 50 students were home with the flu. Okay, I don't know the exact number. When they say approximately, or when they say roughly, or when they say it is about that number. So they are saying that it is not exactly, but it is about that number. It is near that number. Approximately means about or not exactly. So we have exactly and we have approximately or roughly, which is the same, which has the same meaning. For epidemic, we have it right here, number 4. During the epidemic, every home in the town had at least one sick family member. So what's an epidemic? So my dears, you should know this. You should know the difference between the two things. Pandemic and epidemic. These two things are, very important. They are names. See, pandemic is something global. See, when a disease, okay, it spreads, globally to every inch of the world. Okay, that means it has become a pandemic. But epidemic is when a disease, reaches, within a city. Reaches the parts of a city or the parts of a inside a country. When it is inside a country or inside a city or inside a town, it is epidemic. When it becomes global, it goes to other countries, that it becomes pandemic. So I want you to know the difference between these two. So epidemic is a disease that many people in a place have it at the same time. Maybe a small town, maybe a city, maybe a province, maybe a country. But when it goes global, so that becomes a pandemic. Okay, so my dears, I will leave the other ones for you. They are very easy. Just by reading the sentences, you can guess the meaning of these words, and you can match them with their definition. You can use a dictionary. This is totally fine. Well, as we go to the text, but before going to the text, I would like to preview the text. Okay, in the preview it says this online FAG. So that means FAG means frequently asked questions. Those questions which people ask a lot of time, all the time. Page is from a health website about flu. This is from a health website. It's all about flu. Okay, and FAG pages state commonly asked questions about the topic, followed by some answers. So we have questions and we have answers. Sorry. So what I want you to do is look at the headings, these sentences in bold. Look at the questions in bold. Okay, and then which one can you answer without looking at the answer? The answer here. Which one can you answer yourself? Okay, that is the test for this one. Test yourself. Okay, test yourself. Which one can you answer without looking at the answer here? That's done. For the quick write, my dears, so it is asking you to do this. It says, write your responses to the questions before you read the web page. Be sure to use this section for your unit assignment. Think about the last time you had a bad cold or flu. So again, this is asking, the previous question, which we did in the, in the unit, topic. Think about the last time you had a cold or you had the flu, okay? What were the symptoms? So what I want you to do is take out a separate piece of paper, okay? And what were the symptoms? Can you remember the symptoms? For example, running nose, or eye ache, headache, or neck ache, or sore throat, okay? Chill, or maybe you were chilly, your body all shaking and vibrating. How long were you sick? Did you stay home from school or work? How long were you sick? So this is talking about the duration. What helped you, feel better while you were sick? What helped you? What do you do? Did you take medicine? Did you, sleep all the time? Did you, take shower? Whatever you did, you can write it down. My dears, let's go to the text. Okay, my dears. Now we have what? Flu, FAG. Frequently asked questions about flu. Flu season is coming. Are you prepared? Here are some answers to your questions. Okay. What is flu? The flu, short for influenza, it is the short of influenza, is a virus that passes easily from one person to another person. Every year, millions of people miss work and school because of the seasonal flu. Okay? Seasonal flu is a flu which comes in a specific season. Okay? For example, it comes in winter. It comes in, spring. It comes in, autumn. Seasonal flu exists worldwide. Usually the flu season is in the winter months. But in warm climates, the flu occurs during the rainy season. Okay, so in warm climates, like, in African countries and some, Asian countries, those countries are, warm, and it occurs in rainy seasons. Okay, but or in other parts of the world, and it occurs in winter, okay, months. What are some symptoms of flu? Okay, meaning how can you know it is the flu? So you have to have symptom. Okay, flu symptoms include fever when you are, hot. Your body temperature, your bodily temperature, increases a lot. Coughing. Okay, coughing. You all know coughing. Sore throat, when there's pain in your throat. Body ache. There's pain, in every inch of your body. Headache. Chills, okay, where your body is shaking or vibrating. Or fatigue. Fatigue is when you are, greatly tired, meaning you are tired very, very much. That's called fatigue. These symptoms usually show up quickly, developing within 3 to 6 hours to exposure to the virus. When you have the virus, after 3 to 6 hours, okay, you will have these symptoms. Okay? With the flu, you may start the day, feeling fine, only to end up feeling terrible a few hours later. So you are fine in the start of the day, but in the end of the day, you will start to feel, terrible because of these symptoms. What is the difference between the flu and cold? There is a difference, my dears. Those two are not the same. They are not alike. There's a difference. There's a line between them. The flu and cold. Both are respiratory illnesses. Respiratory illnesses. It has two pronunciations. Respiratory illnesses, meaning meaning it is related to your lungs. Okay, it is related to the organ which you use to breathe. Okay, but they are caused by different viruses. Although the symptoms can be similar, flu symptoms are more severe and include a high fever and body aches. So flu symptoms are severe, meaning they are, serious. Meaning that they are not something simple, they are very serious. And your temperature, your fever, is very high, and you have bodily, or body aches. Cold symptoms include a runny or stuffy nose. Okay, when you have a stuffy nose, you can't breathe. Okay, you have, as if something is in your nose. Okay, you can't, breathe in or breathe out. Runny nose. Okay, when the, water comes out, constantly from your nose. From your nostrils, okay? And a cough. This is a symptoms of cold. It is different from flu. You may have a slight fever with a cold, but in general, cold symptoms are milder, meaning they are simpler, and only last about 7 days. Only 7 days, lasts the symptoms of cold. The flu can last up to 2 weeks. The flu can last up to, 2 weeks, but the cold only, lasts about 7 days. It is much more likely to develop into a serious illness and require hospitalization. Okay, so the flu, sometimes, it becomes, something more serious, and you need to be hospitalized. You need to be taken to the hospital, and you need to stay there until the resolution of the resolution of the illness. Who gets the flu? The seasonal flu is very common all over the world. In the United States, 5 to 20% of the population gets the flu every year. After you have had the flu, okay, you have the immunity to that virus. You have immunity. When you have immunity, meaning you have the ability not to get the disease. Okay, your body develops a defense against the virus. So next time you get the virus, your body is stronger, okay? So you will not get that particular virus again, okay? When you have immunity, you don't get the same virus again. However, new flu viruses appear every year. Even if you have the flu, this year, you will not have immunity to next year's virus. Some people get the flu every year, some people. Why is the flu dangerous? The flu is especially dangerous for children aged 2 and under 2. Adults over 65 years old, okay? Children aged 2 and under 2, and also adults over 65 years old. And people in poor health, when their health isn't stable. It is, poor, in a poor condition. These people may not be able to fight the virus and can become extremely sick. Every year in the United States, there are approximately 36,000 deaths related to the seasonal flu. So this is a high number. Okay, it isn't something simple. How does the flu spread? Coughing or sneezing spreads flu viruses, from one person to another person. A virus can live in a tiny drop of liquid from a cough for several hours. So when you cough, tiny drops of water comes out of your mouth. A virus can live in that tiny drop of cough for several hours, for many hours, okay? And it can live on the surface, such as a table, for 20 hours. When the virus is on the table, it can live for, 24 hours. A person can infect others, can give the disease to others, before flu symptoms even develop, and up to 5 days after becoming sick. After becoming sick, up to 5 days, they can give the disease to other people. You can pass the flu to someone else before you are sick. Okay? What is the flu epidemic? A flu epidemic is when many people have the flu at the same time and the number of infected people increases rapidly. Worldwide, annual flu epidemics result in about 3 to 5 billion cases of severe illness and about 250,000 to 500,000 deaths. Okay, so this is a very, high number. Okay, 3 to 5 billion cases and 250,000 and 500,000 deaths. How can I avoid getting the flu? Many people get a flu vaccine. Okay, vaccine is a medicine they give you to help you not to get the flu. So they get a flu vaccine before the flu season starts. The U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, my dears, this is an agency. This is a CDC. This is an agency. You can check it, on Google. CDC is a health agency in the United States, and it is responsible for prevention and curing diseases, and it also does many important and huge research about the diseases and viruses that that is out there and in the world. Okay. CDC says that flu vaccines can prevent 70% to 90% of infections in healthy people under age of 65. So the vaccines can help people under the age of 65. It can help 70% to 90% of them. However, each year there are new unknown viruses Therefore, scientists must develop new vaccines each year. It can take 6 months to a year to develop these vaccines. For some viruses, there is no vaccine, like the coronavirus. Currently, we don't have access to a vaccine, but hopefully in the future, there will be a vaccine to cure coronavirus. What else can I do? There are many things you can do to stay healthy and prevent the spread of the flu. Wash your hands often with soap and water or a liquid, hand cleaner. Hand washing is the best way to prevent the spread of the flu viruses. Cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Throw the tissue in the trash after you use it. If you don't have a tissue, cover your mouth with your arm or shirt sleeve instead of your hands. Okay, so cover it with your arm. It is better that way. Avoid touching your eyes and nose or mouth. Viruses can spread this way. And avoid sick people. If you come in contact with sick people, you will get the same sickness or the same disease, and that is certain. Sometimes you come in contact with them, but you don't get the disease. So that is different. That is hugely different. There you go, my dears. Everything you need to know about the flu, and you have plenty of information about the flu, and we answered all of the questions in the article. Now we come to some follow-up exercises we have after the article. After this article, for exercise B, we do what? Circle the answer to each question. So what I want you to do here is this, based on your understanding. It doesn't matter if you are right or wrong, but what I want you to do is that if you understood the text or the article well, then you can answer these options reasonably. You can put your finger on the most reasonable option. But if you haven't understood the whole thing, you will have problem in choosing. You will certainly have problem in choosing these options. The first one, what is the purpose of this web page? What is the purpose of this? So in my opinion, is to provide basic information about the flu and how to prevent it. This is my opinion. Your opinion may be different from this. Based on your understanding. I will leave number 2, 3, and 4 for you. They are all for you, and I would like you to think about these. So as you know, my dears, I do not like a memorization. Memorizing and saving stuff in your mind. I would like my students to use your minds. To use your mind, and then that is very useful. It develops your mind, and it perfects even your English. For C, it says compare a cold to the flu. See, we have two egg-shaped circles, and they intersect each other. They form 3 parts. One part in the left, one part in the right, and one part in the middle. This is flu. So what I want you to do is talk about the symptoms or the facts about flu here, and the facts about cold here. Find some short and important facts, 2 or 3. So this is one of them. This is one of them. Try to find number 2 and number 3 about flu and about cold as well, and try to find the common symptoms they both have. So there's coughing in both of them. What else is in this one, and it is in this one as well? They share the same symptom. I will leave this one as well for you. For example, we have fever here. We have fever here as well. So you can write down fever as a help for you. We have fever in both of these, diseases. I hope you understood and you have no problem. For activity D on page 177, my dears, it says find the answers of these questions. So again, it tests your understanding of the text. So if you have problem even in answering these, so I would I highly recommend that you go to the text and double or even triple read it. So you get the whole idea. The first one, what percentage of people in the United States gets the flu every year? 5 to 20%. So according to the article, according to the web page, 5 to 20% Number 2, why is the flu especially dangerous for elderly people, people over 65 years old? Why? Because they can't fight the disease. They can't fight the virus. They can get extremely sick, and this endangers their health. Okay, this threatens their health, and so they will risk the chance of, they will run the chance of dying even in some cases. I will leave number 3, 4, 5 and 6 for you. Okay, they are very easy. Please do not fret or worry about these. They are very easy. For activity E, so now we read all the information about flu. Now we have basic elementary information about flu. If you could add one extra question to these questions, okay, what would you add to here? Do you think that you have an important question you want to ask here? Okay, so I added one question in my opinion. Okay, so look at this question. Is there a cure, like a vaccine, to immune people from the virus, forever? Is there something, we can, like a needle shot, or like, some pills, or like, drops, we can use that to give us the immunity, okay, to protect us from the virus, and so we don't get the virus again in our whole life? Do we have something like this? Okay, and in number 2, okay, it says, what do you think the answer might be? The answer, maybe, might be the answer is, in my opinion, it is no. Not yet. This is my opinion, okay? Your opinion may be different. Maybe you have extra information. You have additional information I do not possess. Okay? So I would like you to add one extra question to these questions. Do you have a question now about flu, or any extra question you would like to add? Add it here and try to find an answer for this, for the question you added. I just added one question and I answered the question. Okay? Can you think of a question like this? Okay? Thank you very much, my dears. Okay, page 177, that is the end. Okay, and I will, continue with the remaining pages and topics of Unit 8. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, Thank you very much for listening and watching. I hope you found it very informative, and you can save all of these useful, valuable information in your minds, because you are going to, need them, okay, in due time. Thank you very much for listening and watching. I love you a lot, and bye-bye.